So Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to ISKCON West Bhakti Sadan, outpost of ISKCON Seshadripuram for the Sunday feast program. This week, generally we do Bhagavad Gita, so all of you know, but today being Varaha Dwadasi and tomorrow being Nithyananda Trayodasi, today's being Adivas of Nithyananda Trayodasi, we will have a little bit of a discussion on these two pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maybe we will start with Varahadev appearance day. Today is the appearance day of Varahadev. We all know Varahadev is one of the early incarnations of the Lord. Not that the Lord has any particular, only these 10 or 15 or whatever number of incarnations. The Lord's incarnations are innumerable, and each one is so sweet and has a wonderful pastime. So Varahadev also, in that sense, was a very sweet pastime. So this was one of the, these pastimes keep happening. So many places, so many universes are there. They keep happening in different points in time. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular pastimes have been discussed by the Varahadev pastimes. But of course, Varahadev can perform various different pastimes. Maybe in some other universes they are being manifest. But right now, what we are seeing here is what has happened in this universe in which we are living. And so we will discuss that. Varahadev is basically the Bohr Incarnation. That means the appearance of the Lord as a boar. See, sometimes when we think of a boar, what comes to our mind is only a pig, right? What we see a pig to be. But it is mentioned the Lord can take any form, and whatever form he takes, that's absolute, pure perfection. That's all auspicious, all beautiful, all transcendental, everything is all. There is nothing like, oh, why boar or why, horse or, any this one. So the Lord, he was so beautiful. If you see Varahadev was most beautiful incarnation. When he was there, he was like shining like so beautifully, so effulgent. The Bohr Incarnation was so beautiful. So this Lord actually came from the nostril of Lord Brahma. So they were discussing, Brahma was in the creation, and while he was creating, somehow he realized that, he was so busy in creation, the earth, in the universe, the earth actually started sinking down into the, what you call, the Garbhodaka ocean. That means the ocean, the creation, from that Garbhodaka ocean into that earth was sinking down. And then someone actually called that Brahma's attention to say, see, this is happening, the earth is sinking, and Brahma was not knowing what to do. The earth is sinking like this, how to manage this situation? And then he's saying only the Lord can help here. And then immediately the Lord comes out of the nostril of Brahma. He is like, the size of a thumb. When he came out, even less than that maybe, he came out so small form. He came out, and then he became became so big. That small forms became so big, and it became like a mountain. The form became like a mountain. So then he started roaring. When he started roaring, all the the personalities in the top planetary systems, they all immediately recognized that this is the roar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they are the Pitru Lokas and all. They are actually very, very shrewd people. They understand. It's not like even for us, if the Lord comes and stands in front of us and says, I am the Lord, we will say, where did you get this costume from? This is our mindset of thinking, but they could understand from the roar of the Lord himself that, Varahadev has come. And he is basically the protector of the Vedas, he's basically in a personification of Vedas, whatever you can call the Varahadev like that. So they immediately understood it is Varahadev, and they started chanting wonderful hymns about Lord Varahadev, and Varahadev acknowledged that. Their praise of him, and then he actually went down into the water and lifted the earth from the water, from underneath the water, and then he brought it up. So this is one pastime. It is also mentioned the Lord appeared another time to do the same pastime, but that time also while he is coming back, he sees this demon, Hiranyaksha. So this Hiranyaksha, I will keep it very short. All of you know this. We have been also having this series in our Bhagavatam class on a daily basis on the morning. We have been doing that series in the temple. So most of you would have heard it, seen it, but I will keep it short. So Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they are two brothers. They are basically Jai and Vijay from basically the doorkeepers of Lord Vishnu. So if you go to any temple, you will find outside the main sanctorium, you will find Jai and Vijay standing there. Basically the doorkeepers or the bodyguards or however you call them. They are spiritual beings. They are not ordinary personalities like us who have got karmic reactions or something. They are perfect personalities. But the ones, Brahma's sons, the four Kumaras, they will be going down to the the four Kumaras are basically impersonalists. They were not devotees, basically. They were actually the yogis. They were basically yogis. And they of course, knew that there is Lord Vishnu. They knew there are so many forms, there are so many things, and everything is, the Mayavad kind of a concept. Like personalism is not there. It's simply that, Vishnu is also one of the, higher personalities. That kind of a thinking was there in their mind. So they had actually visited this Vaikuntha Loka, and at that time when they go in there, very high elevated personalities. They are not like ordinary people in one sense. Nobody could actually enter Vaikuntha. It's not like anybody can enter Vaikuntha. Nobody can enter Vaikuntha unless they are qualified. But here, as a pastime of the Lord, they were able to get in there. Nobody stopped them also. Till the point they went to that entrance of Lord Vishnu's main sanctum area. When they go there, then these two stop them and say, "Hey, who let you in, you boys? How come that you are here?" Like that. They started making some comments like that. And these boys tell them, "No, actually we are so and so. We are not small children, whatever." But they don't take that for an answer. And little commotion happens in the process. These four boys actually curse them. Like, you people don't know how to receive personalities. Therefore, you should, you become like demons. Then Lord Vishnu immediately comes out and pacifies the whole situation, and then says, okay, he gives them some option, like, okay, you go down, you become my enemy, and then have 4 lives as my enemy, and then you can come back after that. Or you can take a long time, be my whatever, I don't know, devotee or whatever, and take a long time and then come back like that. So the option is like, okay, better to come back quickly, even if that means being an enemy to the Lord, like that. So the decision was made. Actually, the Lord actually wanted to fight. See, the Lord also is a person. It's not like, the Lord is some impersonal something which is a lump of something which does not have any emotions or anything like that. The Lord has so many likes and dislikes also. In fact, there was one situation where Lord did not like someone. Like, he looked more sort of like, it's a pastime again, looked little more smarter than the Lord or something, or he behaved, acted smart or something. He burnt him up there only. So the Lord has his likes and dislikes. It's not like, the Lord is whatever. He's a person. So he has this thing that I also want to, he cut off his head. With his fingertip, I was prompted how he cut off that person's beauty. That so-called, he was thinking, I am better than the Lord. So actually, that's one of the, if you read the Nectar of Devotion, there is one point which is there. Not that the Lord is envious of us, that was a pastime, but generally from our perspective, when you go to the temple, you cannot go very opulent. Like, in the temple, the deity is the most handsome or the most beautiful personality. Like, if Subhadra Maya is there, she is the most beautiful. And if Jagannath Baladev is there, or Radha Krishna is there, Radha is there, she is the most beautiful. Nobody else can be beautiful than Radha. Similarly, when men are there, we can't be nicely dressing so smartly that, everybody start looking at us and not at the Lord. Then that's an offense actually. Like, the deity should be the most beautiful person there. And we should not try to show off that, I am so handsome or I am so beautiful. But okay, this is off the track. But on the point of the Lord being a person has a lot of likes and dislikes. So he wanted to also enjoy some, fight, so to say. And there is nobody good enough in this material world to fight with the Lord. Nobody has the abilities. Not that those in the spiritual world are better than the Lord, but at least he feels, they can give me some competition in some form and shape like that. So it's basically a rasa, that feeling of, wanting to do some gusti with the, tone up some muscles, like exercise some muscles there. He wanted to go and do these things. So it said like when Krishna was there, when this Mushtika and Chanura, they were supposed to be the most powerful men in the universe at that point in time. And these two were young boys, I don't know, 6-year-old, 7-year-old boys, Krishna Balram. They were there, and then these fellows, the Kamsa, he sent these two fellows, you go and kill these two boys like that. So they come there, and then they are actually trying to hit the Lord. These are big wrestlers, big fighters, but then these are two young boys. When they were beating up the Lord, they were feeling nice massage like that. That is how Krishna and Balram were feeling. And then when they gave back, and then these fellows, it was death for them. The beating was like death to them, and then they finally died. So like this, many, even when Lord Varaha, when Kurmadev came, when they put that big mountain, Mantara mountain, I think, that was put on the back of that Kurma incarnation. That means on the tortoise incarnation, the back, they kept that Mantara mountain. It's huge. And when they were actually churning the ocean, he was feeling like tickling sensation in the back, I believe. Just imagine Mantara mountain on the back of the Lord, and he's feeling tickling. So that's the Lord. So he's so powerful, so everything. But he also has this feeling, I want to do some little bit of fighting. So he said, okay, you guys go down there and I want to fight. And it's only with devotees I can fight, not with these demons, like literally demons in the material world. So they come here for that purpose. So there, this Hiranyaksha, of course, when he comes down there, he forgets, right, that, I am the Jai Vijay. He wants to basically do the service as what the Lord wanted, and he's forgotten. He's put in the Maya, and he's asked to act that way. So he's invincible, very invincible. There is no demon. He is actually, all the Devas are in hiding, because they have actually demolished everything. Like they have taken control of the entire, all planetary systems. That is the level of power these fellows had. And he had gone down into the water, the Varuna, and then he was trying to make fun of Varuna. Hey Varuna, I'm very bored, come let's fight. And Varuna is saying, I'm so old, how can I fight? He's hiding basically. You will find your match in Lord Vishnu, you go and search out for him. We are all useless fellows, you are coming and challenging, you should fight with a Varti fellow, not like with an old man like me. Like this Varuna is telling him. Then he's saying, searching for this Vishnu. Who is Vishnu? Let me find out. Like that he's thinking, and coming on the way, Varahadev comes. And then he challenges Varahadev, and Varahadev makes the earth just float on the water. And then he gets into a nice wrestling match with him, a big fight. And, it was so nice actually that, the different blows have been discussed very nicely. How the Lord got also a few blows, and how he went and fell far away, all these things are there. And how the Lord gave it back, and so many things were there. And then finally, this Hiranyaksha was killed. So this is Varahadev's appearance day. So from our heart also, these demoniac tendencies has to go. So the Lord's appearance is actually like that it reminds us of our demoniac nature, of why we are here, that, we are envious of the Lord, and we have come here with that, anarthas in our mind. And these Lord's pastimes actually reminds us that, we need to remove all these anarthas and go back to Godhead. So that's why these sweet pastimes are there. So this is Varahadev's incarnation. He came, both times he came. One time he was in white, Shweta Varaha, he was white. And another time he was in red color. So these two different colors were there in his incarnation. So now let's also now go back a little bit. The source of Varahadev. We will see what is the source of Varahadev. So that aspect we will see today. In Nithyananda Trayodasi is the next day. So we will see this, the Lord coming as Varahadev is basically manifestations in this material world, right? In this material world, all the manifestations are emanating from the Vishnu form of the Supreme Personality of God. So all forms, so some sampradayas believe Vishnu is the ultimate, which is true in one sense from the material world point of view. Like, all incarnations that are happening in this material world, like not all, maybe, a lot of incarnations which happen are starting from the Vishnu incarnation, which is like there are three Vishnus, Mahavishnu, Garbhodaya Sai Vishnu, Sirodaka Sai Vishnu, like that. As the expansion of the creation is happening, the Lord is actually percolating down and down, expanding into different forms. And then the last one was one of the Vishnu forms. And from him, to maintain this material world, incarnations happen. But this Vishnu is also a plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from Krishna, the expansion happens, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Balram, from then, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and then what is the fourth one? Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and what is the fourth name? I forget. Okay, the four quadrupole incarnation, we say that. Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshana. These four incarnations. And the Sankarshana source is Balram. Balram is the Sankarshana source. So, original incarnation Krishna and Balram, and then the four quadrupole incarnation, and then again four quadrupole incarnation. From that, then further, Mahavishnu comes, Sirodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. And further, the other incarnations come from there. So the source of all of this is actually Balram. Of course, Krishna and Balram. Now let's look at Nithyananda Prabhu. What is his position in all these things? So from Caitanya Charitamrita, we can understand. Panchame Shri Nithyananda Tattva Nirupana Nithyananda Haile Rama Rohini Nandana, which means the 5th chapter describes the truth of Lord Nithyananda Prabhu, who is none other than Balaram, the son of Rohini. This is in the Adi Leela, 17th chapter, 318, verse number 318. In that it is mentioned, Panchama Shri Nithyananda Tattva Nirupana Nithyananda Haila Rama Rohini Nandana. That means here in this where is saying, this has been described. The position of Shri Nithyananda has been described in the 5th chapter, and he is none other than Rohini Nandana. Who is Rohini Nandana? We all know Balram. So this is one shloka. There are many indications of who actually Balram is. So in the 5th chapter, I'm just referring to 5th chapter here, where the verse is like this. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Sri Nithyananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So this is Nithyananda, is the most merciful personality in the entire creation. Creation means entire incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even merciful than Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the point we need to understand. Whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. That's his position. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvipa as Lord Chaitanya, and Balarama appeared with him as Lord Nithyananda. Se Krishna Navadvipe Shri Chaitanya Chandra, Se Balarama Sange Shri Nithyananda. May Shri Nithyananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance. Shankarshana, Seshanaga, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karana ocean, Garbhoda ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and portions of his plenary portions. Not even simply plenary portions. He is part of the part, like that. No, just imagine the Garbhodakasai Vishnu, Kshirodakasai Vishnu, they are all actually part of the Nityananda expansion. He executes the orders of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Sesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. So basically, Nityananda is actually the servitor Lord. He is Lord. There is no difference between Krishna and Balrama. There is no difference between Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Nityananda is actually Caitanya Mahaprabhu only, but the Lord in that expansion as Balrama, he serves himself. If I have to say that way, like it said, the Lord is called Atma Rama. Atma Rama means he is self-satisfied. It is not, there is nothing from outside that is required for him. Then how can you say then he is served by so many people? Like for example, he is served by his parents. Right? He is served by Balram. He is served by Radharani. Then how is it that he is served? So that means is it they are two different persons? That question comes. But here he says he's Atma Rama, means he's self-sufficient. So if he's self-sufficient, then how can a second person serve him? Therefore, the point is they are all part of Krishna's internal energy. That means none other than Krishna, but in different forms. They are not like us jivas that we are actually separated part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But these personalities are not separated separated portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are actually part of the original, what do you call, the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That way, all Vishnu Tattva, like Narsimadev, Varahadev, Vamanadev, Lord Rama, everyone is actually part of that Supreme Personality. That means they are all fully potent, just like as potent as Krishna. But sometimes they may not exhibit the full potency what they are. So the Lord comes with a particular purpose. So he does not exhibit. It is not that he cannot do it. Like for example, when Lord Rama came, it is not that he cannot, for example, marry so many, like 16,108, what do you call, gopis, Lord Krishna married. But Rama said, no, I will not marry. I will only be a Eka Patni Vrata. Like, no, I will have only one wife. It is not like Lord Rama is not capable, but it is capable means like today everybody claims I can also have 10 wives. That is not the point. It's not that capable. Capable means that Krishna expanded as 108 times. I mean like 16,108 times. That capability I am talking about. That means he can expand as to be a wife for each of the gopis, to be the husband of each of the gopis separately. Not that, one person goes to the different houses. No, he is multiplied into 16,108. Rama is also capable, but he did not do that. He restrained. He said, in this avatar only this much. So that's what it is. But Krishna, he is Purna avatar. He did not show any limit, or he did not exhibit any limitations. He showed all his complete Purna, this one. Like that, all incarnations are capable, but they are basically restrained for whatever reason. Like that, Varahadev also like that. So Nithyananda Prabhu is also like that. So then that Lord expands into some of these forms like Balram or Radha or whatever to basically have this, what do you call, rasas. And also they basically serve him. In that sense, he is serving himself. That's why Atma Rama. He doesn't need anything from outside. Everything is within him. These potencies which have expanded are also part of his internal potency, not external potency. So that we need to understand. So he is basically the servitor Lord. The Lord only, but servitor Lord. That way we should see that. Now let's see a few more. That Mahapurusha, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, is known as the plenary part of him who is Lord Nityananda Balaram, the favorite associate of Lord Chaitanya. This is another verse somewhere else. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Thus, Lord Nithyananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. So, this is the point, that he expands in various ways, but all of his purposes are basically to serve that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another beautiful verse, this is important. Kabu Guru, Kabu Saka, Kabu Britya Leela, Purve Yena Tina Bhave, Vraja Kaila Kela. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant. Just as Lord Balarama played with Lord Krishna in these three different moods in Praja. So this is important. So the Nithyananda is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balarama is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So once like Nithyananda or Balaram, they're non-different, they're same. Originally, like, when he was thinking, when Lord Rama, when he came as Lord Rama, he was thinking, okay, let me go down as his brother and serve him. So he wanted to serve, unlimitedly to the Lord. So when he was doing this, Rama, oh, he's my brother. Like, a brother, he was having that soft corner, so he will not allow him to do a lot of things. Like, you are my brother, how you can, take these austerities, difficulties. Even though we know that as Lakshmana, Balram as Lakshmana, when he was here, that 14 years, he didn't even sleep one day. That's something which you can't even think of. But he served so austerely, but still, that is nothing for him, and Rama prevented him from doing so many other difficult health, because, you are a small child, you are my brother, how can you do like that? So he was feeling unsatisfied. Oh, what is this Lord? I came as a younger brother, and then, he's made me he's not allowing me to do services. So next time I will come as his elder brother, so that, that way he cannot restrict me. But when he came as Balram, as the elder brother, Krishna prayed to him and said, oh brother, I have to serve you. So then that became also a problem. Of course, Balram did a lot of service, but then Krishna took this route to say, you are my elder brother, I will have to serve you. That mood he was having at some times and all that. So there also, to his heart content, he could not do the service. Then he thought, oh, this family business he should not have now. I should come as a completely different, independent, like, not in the family, something different. And that's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he came as a third person, like, as in another mother who has no family connection. That way he came. And then he could really serve the Lord so beautifully. So that's one thing that is there. Now let's try to see one or two more aspects of So here, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had taken what do you call residence in Jagannath Puri Dham. So because his mother said, you have taken sannyas, and I have nobody to think, and I don't want you to. Sannyas means you leave the home and go. But then I don't want you to go. But then I'm a sannyasi, I can't stay with you, I have to go. Then she was like, okay, then you at least stay here only in Jagannath Puri. So he was staying there only. And so he spent a lot of time in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today also you will see many places where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be there. So it's a very famous thing. Now, this is in context of that he is telling giving some instructions to many devotees. In that, Nithyananda Prabhu also is giving one instruction. Let us see that portion of it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told Nithyananda Prabhu, please hear me, O holy man. I now request something of you. Kindly grant my request. So he is making a request to Nithyananda Prabhu. What is that request? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nithyananda Prabhu, please hear me, O holy man. I now request something of you. Kindly grant my request. Then what is this request? Do not come to Jagannath Puri every year, but stay in Bengal and fulfill my desire. See, Jagannath Puri is a holy dham. And all of us actually want to go to so many, holy dham and, take association of the devotees there and, worship the deity there nicely like that. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, you don't come to Jagannath Puri. You just simply stay there and fulfill my desire. Now, if you read Srila Prabhupada's purport there, he says, the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to spread the only medicine effect in the fallen age of Kali, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Following the orders of his mother, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing at Jagannath Puri and the devotees were coming to see him. However, the Lord felt that the message must be spread very elaborately in Bengal, and in his absence there was not a second person capable of doing it. Consequently, the Lord requested Nithyananda Prabhu to stay there and broadcast the message of Krishna consciousness. The Lord also entrusted a similar preaching responsibility to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Nithyananda Prabhu was requested not to come every year to Jagannath Puri, although seeing Lord Jagannath greatly benefits everyone. Does this mean that the Lord was refusing Nithyananda Prabhu a fortunate opportunity? No. One who is a faithful servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must execute his order even if one has to sacrifice going to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Jagannath there. In other words, it is a greater fortune to carry out Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order than satisfy one's senses by seeing Lord Jagannath. Preaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult throughout the world is more important than staying in Vrindavana or Jagannath Puri for one's own personal satisfaction. Spreading Krishna consciousness is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Therefore, his sincere devotee must carry out his desire. What is that desire? Prithvi che ache yata nagaradi grama sarvatra prachara haibe mora nama. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya must preach Krishna consciousness in every village and town in the world. That will satisfy the Lord. It is not that one should act whimsically for his own personal satisfaction. This order comes down through the parampara system, and the spiritual master presents these orders to the disciple so that he can spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is the duty of every disciple to carry out the order of the bona fide spiritual master and spread Lord Chaitanya's message all over the world. This is the crux of Krishna consciousness. See, very powerful words here. You go to a dham, yes, you are purifying yourself. But more important is you perform the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That doesn't mean, you don't go on a yatra or anything like that. That's not what is meant for all of us here. The point is how much importance we give to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's more important than, our trying to, I go, so many people, by seeing, taking a dip in this ocean, taking a dip in that water, that will. But then, that is all with a desire, right? That, I want to remove my sin. Basically that's what is going by in our head. The more I take, the more sins are going away. But the Lord's order is you spread my message. That's all. If you are able to do that one particular thing with full heart, with sincerity, then we are actually that person, the place where that person is there, that place becomes the, the dham. That place becomes the holy water. But then, don't take it out of context that therefore, you should not visit dham. It's not that. But the higher position is given to the preaching of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's message. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, you simply stay there. I want you to go and spread this message rather than coming here and, taking my darshan or Jagannath's darshan. That's a separate thing. Like, Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the same. There is no difference. There are many such, actually transactions which happens. Actually, even sweet pastimes between Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are also there. So that's a different story. But the point is, so he is saying that Jagannath means me only. Like, it's the same. You don't come here and see me or Jagannath, but you go and do this job, because who else can do this job better than you? You see the next verse even more powerful. It says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, you can perform a task that even I cannot do. But for you, I cannot find anyone in Gauda Desha who can fulfill my mission there. So this is Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mood that, Nithyananda Prabhu can do things which even he cannot do. That means a devotee is more powerful than the Supreme Lord. Now, Hanuman jumped over to Lanka. Lord Rama needed a bridge. Who's bigger, Lord Rama or Lord Hanuman? Okay. Then take the example of Caitanya Mahaprabhu and uh, 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 our Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was actually what do you call, supposed to have been born in a very low class and was considering himself a very lowly person. But Haridas Thakur was chanting 3 lakh names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 3 lakh. That will translate, I don't know, 176 rounds or whatever. Because each Mahamantra contains 16 words. So 3 lakh divided by 16, that divided by 108. I don't know, it may be 172, 176, I don't know how many. That many rounds of Mahamantra is... that many rounds of Mahamantra Haridas Thakur was chanting. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu was doing 100 rounds or something like that. Haridas Thakur was doing 170. So who is bigger, Caitanya Mahaprabhu or Haridas Thakur? So Prabhupada was saying this once, and then he says, Caitanya Mahaprabhu was only preaching in West Bengal, but we are preaching all over the world. So now what does that mean? Is Prabhupada bigger? That's the question, right? Is Prabhupada bigger than Caitanya Mahaprabhu? And Prabhupada said, actually, the Lord actually wants to see his devotees do wonderful things. By the mercy of the Lord, that his devotee is able to do better. Therefore, that devotee is bigger. Now it's a little... See, this is to glorify the devotees. Even Lord Shiva says this. There is, I have also saw that verse somewhere. Lord Shiva says, Aradhana Sarveshu Vishnur Aradhana Param. That means Aradhana, see, of all the worship, Sarveshu, of all the worship, Vishnur Aradhana is Param. Param means it is the absolute. Vishnu, worship of Lord Vishnu. Tasmat Parataram. Can you repeat again? Tasmat Parataram Devi. That means Tasmat, even better than that, Devi. He's talking to Parvati there. He's telling Tasmat Parataram. So that means even better than that. O Devi, what is the word? Tadiyanam Samarchanam. That means even better than that is the worship of his devotees. Tadiyanam. His devotees. Worship of his devotees are even better. So this is a purpose. That doesn't mean the devotee is better, but it is the mood of the Lord that he wants to make the devotee better. You take this example in Bhagavad Gita also. I think that's this verse which I again don't remember. But there the Lord is saying, "Oh Arjuna, you kill these soldiers, you kill all these guys, and you take the kingdom, you enjoy the kingdom, and take the name. I have already killed them." See, the Lord has actually performed that activity, but he is giving the credit to his devotee. And he says, you take the name. I am happy by you taking the name. See, this is the mood of the Lord. And therefore, Prabhupada said like that. And I when I was heard this thing about Prabhupada, then I saw in one of the verses when I was going through, the Lord exactly saying this, here this is being mentioned, that the Lord is happier when he sees the devotee being glorified. So Prabhupada didn't say anything out of context or didn't say it, okay, no, I am so great or anything like that. But he says that is the quality of the Lord, that he is making us better that way. But the Lord is saying, though here, no, you can do tasks which is better than what I can do. That's also mentioned that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made the great personalities, Sanatan, Rupa Goswami, many of these very high intellectual, very brilliant, already also elevated personalities. So he made them devotees, so to say. But Nithyananda Prabhu, so that means all the great people he made it. But those who are rascals who are not qualified, Nithyananda Prabhu made them devotees. So who is better? Again, those who are qualified or those who are not qualified. That's the greatness of Nithyananda Prabhu. It is mentioned, we all know the story of Jagai Madai. Those two performed whatever possible sinful activities you can ever do. Sometimes we think, I am the most sinful person. You cannot be as sinful as Jagai Madai. That's like you are thinking too much of yourself. You can't do as much sin as what Jagai and Madai have done. They are the most sinful person. So much so that there was after I will come to this point later. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to Nithyananda Prabhu used to go, see, just imagine, Nithyananda Prabhu is the original source of all incarnation. Have that in mind as you approach this topic. And here he is going door to door and knocking. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Door is open. They open. Nobody is there. They close down the door and then they walk away. Go inside the house. Again, tuck, tuck, tuck sound. They open. Nobody is there. Third time they open like this. We get annoyed. What is this? Who are these children playing like this? Third time they come and open angrily, and then they sit down, and Nithyananda Prabhu is lying down paying prostrated obeisances to them. And then he is requesting, please chant the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And some of them actually say, no, why we should do this, we will not do. And then he will start rolling on the ground. He is so beautiful, very handsome, very nice body, effulgent body. And then, hey, why you are dusting this, such a beautiful body, don't do, we will chant Hare Krishna, don't worry, like that they will say. But just imagine who is this person, the source of every incarnation. That means, this is why my spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, once was sleeping. Suddenly he got up and he started laughing. And then the devotees were asking, Guru Maharaj, why have you suddenly got up and you are laughing like this now? He says, no, I had one dream or thought I had, and that made me laugh like this. So they said, what is that thing? Please tell us also. So then Guru Maharaj said, no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nithyananda Prabhu actually went and fell down at everybody's leg like this. And they were actually taking it lightly. I was thinking, he is the person from whom all the incarnations come. But one of his incarnation, Narasimhadev, if he had come and did knock at the door and then said, you chant Hare Krishna, would people have done like that? So he said, when I thought about it, then I was really laughing like that. So just imagine, that really brings out the ugra of the situation. If Narasimhadev is there, then we will do. But Nithyananda Prabhu, who is the source of Narasimhadev, is coming and falling at our feet, and we are taking it for granted. Hare, it's okay. Prabhupada's parampara, he's talking here nicely that parampara, when they are coming and requesting, it is Nithyananda Prabhu only coming and requesting. But people take it lightly, they make fun when people come and, request people to chant or, come and associate with the devotees. They always suspect, oh, there is something wrong. These fellows are trying to do something to me or trying to take money out of me or something are always there. That suspicion is always there. But if Narasimhadev comes and asks, will anybody suspect? They won't even ask, where did you get this costume from? They know pretty well this is Narasimhadev direct. Nobody can think. So, but Nithyananda Mahaprabhu is so merciful that this Jagai Madai, this most sinful fellows, like that he went and asked them, they were drunkards, they were drinking somewhere, sitting in a bar. Of course, 500 years back also there were bars. It's not that bars were not there at those days. So when he went and requested, then can you, chant Hare Krishna, one of them, I think Madai or Jagai, one of them, they took that drinks bottle, and they broke it on his head only. And the bottle broke. And Nithyananda Prabhu was bleeding in his head. And then this message went to Caitanya Mahaprabhu that Nithyananda Prabhu was offended like this. And then he got very angry. He immediately came rushing to the spot and he pulled out the Sudarshana Chakra. And he said, now I will finish up these things. And these two demons. Then immediately, Nithyananda Prabhu immediately fell down at Caitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and holding in and crying, "Oh my Lord, don't use the Sudarshan Chakra. Now we have not come with any weapon. In this incarnation, we have not come with any weapon. We have simply come with a weapon of Hare Krishna mantra to remove the demon from their heart, not to physically kill them. Please remember, don't use this Sudarshan Chakra." Because he prayed like that, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, okay. But he said, because of Nityananda's mercy that you are escaping. So at that point in time, they immediately know, they say, right, when you are drunk, if something shakes you up, then all that things get down. I don't know. That intoxication immediately comes down when they see the Sudarshan Chakra, then everything comes down. And then they go and fall at Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually then embraces them. When he embraces them, his body is golden color. But these two are so sinful, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body for a second became black. For a second, he absorbed all their sins and it became black, and then he became golden back again. So that is the amount of sins that they had. But the mercy of Nityananda was so great that, they were delivered. So Prabhupada, there was one other instance of Prabhupada Leela. So someone asked Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, if someone breaks the regulative principle, what happens? And he goes and tells this to spiritual master. You will forgive him, Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada, he does the same thing again and then comes and again tells you, oh, is that? Okay, we will pardon him once more time, like that Prabhupada says. And then he says, what if the guy does the third time the same mistake and comes and tells you, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada thinks, he says, a rascal, how can he do such things? How can he do the same mistake after being forgiven 3 times, 4 times like that? He cannot do. And he says, but Nityananda Prabhu is very merciful. That means, what you need to understand is, he will forgive. So the point here is, Nityananda Prabhu is basically the Adi Guru. He is the representation of the entire Guru Parampara. That's why here it is talked about. Prabhupada talks about this Parampara. He is the Adi Guru. That means, if you remember this pastime of Sugriva, Lord Ramachandra actually helped him by killing his brother Vali. And then that became rainy season, and he said, okay, I will stay here for 4 months. I don't want to go out. You go. You are so merciful. You have now got back your kingdom. So go and enjoy life for some time. And then you can come back. I am anyway mendicant. I have to sit in the forest. What's your problem? You are now got your kingdom back. Go and enjoy. But come back after 4 months. But Sugriva, in his intoxication of enjoyment, sense gratification, he forgot after 4 months that he should come back. Immediately, Rama is feeling so hard, this day, I have to go and rescue Sita, but here Sugriva has not come. So Lakshmana gets very angry. He's thinking, I will go and kill this fellow, like that he's thinking. Then Lord Rama says, then our purpose will not be served if you just go and kill him. No, you need to actually correct him. So he says, okay, I will go and correct him. Then he comes and he chastises Sugriva. And then Sugriva immediately surrenders to Lakshmana and says, forgive me, you have woken up my eyes. I was in my, ignorance, and you have now woken up my eyes. So that is the position of the spiritual master, that he awakens us, he removes our ignorance, he removes our blindfolded and our vision of who we are really, but we are thinking so many different things and trying to enjoy life. The spiritual master comes and opens up. Chakshur unminitam yena. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chakshur unminitam means, Chakshur means eye, unminitam means opening. The one who opens our eyes to the reality, that is Guru. And Nityananda Prabhu is the Adi Guru. And he represents all the Gurus. That is the point we need to understand. So, various types of Gurus we see in our life. But we should look at them as Nityananda Prabhu's manifestation. Of course, it is not physical. It is more about the what do you call, the uh, position, like, so that means it's a summation of all the gurus that we see, like our initiating master, like there are so many Siksha gurus, so many we have, but all of them are actually part and parcel of that supreme personality called Nithyananda Prabhu. So that is very important. So that's why he's saying, I cannot find anyone in Gauda Desha who will fulfill my mission there. So even I cannot forgive, but you are able to actually forgive them and bring them to the spiritual world. Amara dushkara karma toma haite haya. That means you can do what I cannot do. That's the. See, that's why Prabhupada is saying, similarly, if one is true to Gaura Nitai's service in the disciplic succession, he can even excel Nityananda Prabhu's service. See, the same extension of that. A devotee is better than the worship. So basically, we needed to worship Nityananda Prabhu. So sometimes we think, oh, Krishna, 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 Krishna. But that object is not reachable without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So that means we cannot jump over. In Mayavad, we jump over the Guru, right? They learn and then they step on his head and then go and say, now I have achieved better. I am better than my Guru. In Vaishnavism, that is never done. Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is the only thing which can take us to Krishna. Of course, Radharani also, they are both two sides of the same coin. But without their mercy, we have no ticket. So our just thinking, oh, I am in love with Krishna and all is artificial. If we are not able to respect the parampara, give respect to our spiritual master, give respect to Prabhupada, give respect to, in that order to Nityananda Prabhu, and then go out to Lord Krishna's lotus feet, that is the method. That means we, dasanu das. We are basically the servant of the servant of the servant, not that basanu bas, in how people generally think that, I am the Lord of everything that I serve. That mood will not work. We need to have this mood of surrender to Nityananda's lotus feet. And with his mercy, anything can happen. Like, we may be the most sinful, most abominable, most rascaldom, whatever. But if we have that sincere desire to please Lord Nityananda, then magic can happen. Most unqualified people can still be corrected. It's not like, you just unqualified people, he will take it, just send them without, he gives them the qualification. That's the point. He makes us perfect. And then he also awards us Krishna Prema. That is the position of Lord Nityananda. It's 8:16 now. Anything else I had noted down? Let's see if there is anything else. Okay, so with this I will conclude. Nityananda Prabhu, okay, little more childhood past, 1 or 2 years. See, Nityananda Prabhu was born in Ekachakra. That's a place, maybe how many kilometers? 100 kilometers? Some 5 hours travel from Mayapur. Maybe 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers, less than that. So that place is called Ekachakra. So Nityananda Prabhu was born there, and Caitanya Mahaprabhu was born in Mayapur. So now in that place, if you see, when he was a child, Nityananda Prabhu used to exhibit all the pastimes of the Lord there in that place. Even today, if you go, where he performed the Leela of, say, Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, like Krishna's pastime with Radha, where he killed Arishtasura, right? Arishtasura. He killed that demon. And then Radha made fun of him. Oh, you have killed a bull. And therefore, no, you have incurred sin now. Therefore, to remove the sin, you need to take bath in all the holy rivers, Radha told him. He said, is that what? Oh, is it? I have got sin, is it? Okay, what do you want me to do? You take bath in all the holy rivers. Now where will Krishna go all over taking holy bath? He said, okay, I will take holy bath. And he says, hey Ganga, hey Narmada, hey Godavari, all of you come over here. And then all the rivers immediately came there. They presented and say, Krishna, please tell us what we should do. You all actually assemble in this, in this place. I want to take bath in you. So everybody immediately transformed into water, and then they become a holy river, holy pond. And then Krishna took bath in that. And then he said, okay, now I am purified, but you wrongly blamed me for having done this, because he's a demon, he's not a bull. But you actually now committed sin by saying that I did sin. Now you need to take, what do you call, you need to, clear your sin. So now you go and take bath like that, he will tell. Then, so she will go, and then she will, with all their gopis, they will start digging and trying to get the water. And where is the water? Nobody will come. So they will be trying so hard the whole day, and then Krishna will feel so sad. Okay, now, he will be, he's pleased by their effort. Then he says, okay, you actually go there and also give mercy to them. And then the water actually fills into that pot also, that pond also. And then Radha takes bath in that. And then Krishna actually then goes and takes bath in that one. And then he says, this pond is most dear to me than the pond which I created. So this is a very beautiful pastime. Sham Kund and Radha Kund. This is near Govardhan Hill. If you go to Vrindavan, you will see the Govardhan mountain. It is on the, maybe on the foothills of Govardhan Hill, the Radha Kund and Sham Kund. Now this pastime, Nithyananda Prabhu performed in Ekachakra. And in that, he will use to, as a child, he will perform this entire Leela. And at that point in time, 2 ponds got created also. He literally goes into that mood, and then he is himself the Supreme Lord, So he manifests all these things, and then these two ponds actually manifested there. And even today we can actually go and see that. So that was very nice to see. Like this, there are many. Even the Giri Govardhan, there is one mount in which he went to that place, and then he performed that pastime of lifting the. That means that Krishna's pastime he performed as an act here, and he showed that he lifted that Govardhan, that mount, one place is very small hill kind of small thing is there, and that place is where he actually did that pastime like that. It is shown, and there was this Ram Leela also was being performed by him. So he was that story where in the war between Ram and Ravana, they were having this thing. At one point in time, the son of Ravana, what's his name? The most powerful son. Meghnad. What is his name? Other name? Indrajit. So this Indrajit will actually put a very powerful arrow which will make Ram and Lakshman faint. So now Nithyananda Prabhu is enacting that particular pastime, and then when that scene happened, and Nithyananda Prabhu fell down, and that's it. Then everybody, that scene is over. Now everybody is saying, "Get up, get up, get up!" Here Nithyananda Prabhu is gone. He's gone unconscious. Then everybody, oh, what happened? Nithyananda Prabhu is now gone into a trance. He's gone unconscious. What to do? This child is like this. Then someone, his friend, another young boy, he understood, oh, Nithyananda Prabhu is actually fully into the scene, and he's now fainted really. Now, how to wake him up? How, like Ram was woken up by that, Hanuman going and bringing the Sanjeevani herbs from Himalayas and bringing. Like that, then he made like Hanuman, he went and then he did, and then he brought on herb, and then he said, here, Rama, please inhale this, you will become okay. Then Nithyananda immediately came to life. So that is Nithyananda Prabhu's wonderful pastimes. Like this, many things he has done. He used to, on the river, he will go and sit on a crocodile. And then he will go around like go in a horse. Just imagine, on a crocodile he will run around, and he will ask them to chant also. So these are all things which is amazing pastimes with only Nithyananda Prabhu can do. He will go mad, and nobody can control him other than Lord Chaitanya. There was one time, Nithyananda Prabhu was so much in ecstasy. At that time, he was not having any dress in his body. The only dress he had was a cowpin. And that cowpin he was tying to his head. And he was dancing in madness. Caitanya Mahaprabhu came and said, what is this? What are you doing? He says, where is your dress? He says, your dress is here. But that is not supposed to be there. It should be somewhere else. He is not in this world only. He is dancing like anything. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so pleased with him that, he's so much in ecstasy, so much into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He doesn't even realize, his dress is not there or the dress is elsewhere, nothing. Then he actually takes that cowpin and then he takes thread by thread and then gives it to everybody and says, this thread can give you Krishna consciousness. And I think this was a pastime which I heard yesterday. So like that, one very rich person, he gave a lot of donation to the temple and then said, how can we please you? The devotees asked him, I heard that this pastime somewhere, that this thread can give me Krishna consciousness. I want that thread. Give me that thread. Like that. So that is so powerful giver of Krishna. That is the position of Nithyananda Prabhu. So we should always remember his lotus feet, and whatever we do, we should take shelter of Nithyananda Prabhu before we can take the shelter of Krishna, Radha, Jagannath, whatever. Which means again, not jump directly to Nithyananda Prabhu, spiritual master, Prabhupada, this order, but Nithyananda Prabhu is the giver of Krishna Prema. That we cannot forget. Otherwise, we are it's all superficial. If we really do not understand the position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Balram. So tomorrow is this wonderful appearance day. Whatever we can do, we can, I can do a lot of whatever devotional service. That is one thing. And of course, visit the temple if possible. We can visit and take darshan, participate in the blissful Nithyananda Trayodasi, function. We can also contribute whatever we can to Nithyananda Trayodasi's, the festival. They were saying yesterday in Mayapur, every year 20,000 Dhamvasis are being fed. So I was told that in Ekachakra, not Mayapur, Ekachakra. All the Dhamvasis of Ekachakra were being fed. So they were saying, okay, you can all contribute for that feeding of these Dhamvasis. Like this temple also are feeding all devotees like that. So we can, whatever we can contribute. And I mean, I'm not saying that you have to, I'm not doing a fundraising event though. I'm simply saying that is something which each one of us can do, whatever we can think of. Anyway, whatever way we can contribute to the devotional activity we can do. So with this, we will close. If there are any comments, any questions, most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bro. Nobody starts. Let me. Hare
Krishna.
Nice pastimes. And we got, dual or double class today. Two incarnations. All our Lord's incarnations. You give, the first pastimes. All this, demonic, character also, Lord's will only. As you mentioned, they all come and associate with the Lord based on their past deeds or whatever. But at least through that mood, they are connecting with the Lord. So just I am thinking how we can, not even in that mood or, whatever association, totally away from this, the spirituality or the spiritual thought process. Totally caught into this Maya, totally away from it. So really, that point, I liked it. And about pastimes of Nithyananda, that mood you have told, see the devotee mood, even it is higher than Lord Chaitanya himself, declared.
Yes.
So you are more qualified than me like that. Who will give that credit? Only Lord can exhibit that greatness of devotee's quality, pure devotee's quality. And Lord Nithyananda Prabhu is the most qualified, as you mentioned. He is none other than Balram, and he exhibited in many other places also, as you mentioned. Really wonderful, take home today. Thanks for both the pastimes. Thanks, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Very, very blissful session. Theory of relativity completely at play. I just didn't realize, I was just smiling throughout. So, very, very amazing session. So, thank you so much.
Nithyananda Prabhu's pastimes are so blissful that, we will forget time, place and circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for the relaxation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Really wonderful pastimes, like Lord Varadeva and Lord Nithyananda. So Lord Varadeva, we hardly get to hear that Katha, but then we heard it together today, both the Kathas. So the detail about Lord Varahadev, had not heard that he first came out from Lord Brahma's nostril, less than the size of a thumb. Of course, only Lord can do such things. Nobody else can do. Yeah. And then he manifested into bigger size and all that. We can just imagine how it would have been and how beautiful the Lord looked in the complexion and all that. And Lord Nithyananda's Katha, of course, melodious with all the detail, how he was in ecstasy and glorifying the Lord, and Lord came and woke him that where are the clothes, and he gave thread by thread to all, and everybody gets Krishna consciousness just by having that thread. And like you said, Lord Nithyananda stopped Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and he said that when Jagai Madai hit him, that we are not here to kill with Chakra the demon. We are here to kill the demon within in this Kali Yuga. So Lord, just when he hugged Jagai, his body for a moment turned black and all that. So very descriptive, and we can just imagine how things would have been when people were there in presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Amazing. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice. We have 10, 11, 20 devotees.
Thanks, Prabhu. Nice. Amarendra Prabhu summarized everything what you spoke. Very nice.
He was very attentive.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So it is 8:30 now. So maybe we can close tomorrow. Have a blissful Nithyananda Trayodasi. It will be half a day fasting tomorrow. Half a day fasting is there. So follow maybe whatever. After that is it normal prasadam, not Ekadasi prasadam. After that it's normal prasadam. So up to noon you have to fast, and you can take. I think temple program, I didn't see message whether it's evening or morning. We'll check it up and we can share that.
5 o'clock. Evening 5 o'clock they announced.
5 o'clock,
tomorrow.
Very good. Then after office
we
can go there.
Katha, Prasadam,
very nice.
Kirtan.
Yeah.
In Uttarali it is 10:30 onwards, Prabhu.
They are doing in the morning, I was told. Yes, I heard that. Our temple evening. So good. So we get an opportunity to go on. But Abhishek will be there. Blissful Katha will be there. Kirtan will be there. And of course, sumptuous Prasadam will be there. So all are welcome. We'll close now. Hopefully tomorrow, I'm hoping I will be able to go there. Let's see. No, I will go for sure. Yeah.
Thank you so
Krishna
much,
will
Prabhu.
Nithyananda
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all. We will close now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks.
Nithyananda Mahaprabhu ki jai.